Live-action remakes suck. They're lazy cash grabs with little to no originality or creativity in them. They disrespect animation as a medium and perpetuate the current state of cinema, which contains countless amounts of sequels and extended cinematic universes. Here's the problem with live-action remakes. As I said before, the current landscape of cinema is filled to the brim with extended universes, sequels, and reboots, which makes it difficult for creative, original filmmaking to shine. To clarify, I'm not one of those people that hate sequels/extended universes. I love Star Wars and I have tickets to see Across the Spider-Verse on opening day. But I do believe the constant release of films within these franchises take up both studio resources and literal screen time in cinemas. Of course, there are some studios, one in particular, still dedicated to creating original movies, but that's for another video. Now, knowing that our cinemas have been filled with 32 MCU movies and 11 Fast and Furious films, why would we want to see cheap rehashes of the once original movies we've already seen? Not only that, why would we want to see these movies be stripped of the animation that made them so charming in the first place? Disney are the main culprits for this. In total, they've released 21 live-action remakes in the last 29 years, and for the most part, they sucked. When you think of Disney movies, what comes to your mind? Most likely, you think of their classics, like The Lion King or Aladdin. Now what's the first thing, other than the songs, that springs to your mind about these films? It's probably the animation. You remember the striking visuals of the Circle of Life sequence, or the iconic actions taking place whilst Robin Williams is singing Friend Like Me. Aladdin, by the way, has the second best soundtrack of any Disney movie. The first is The Princess and the Frog. Now, compare these to their live-action counterparts. I know the Lion King remake is completely animated, but it's counted as live-action by everyone else, so I'm going along with that. The visuals in these remakes are horrific compared to the beautiful hand-drawn shots from the originals. When it comes to lackluster visuals, one recent live-action remake comes to everyone's mind: The Little Mermaid. Can someone that knows how to colour grade please apply for a job at this studio? Everything is so grey. I feel bad for Halle Bailey because, although I haven't watched any of her performances, she seems like a genuinely good actor, but she has to be associated with what looks like an absolute mess of a film. I know it's unfair to judge a film without watching it, but what the is this? I'm not trying to hate on anyone, but I genuinely do not understand why someone would choose to watch one of these cheap remakes instead of the original movies. Not only do the visuals in these films look god-awful, but their very existence disrespects the hard work put in by the original animators. Let me show you what I mean. Spoiler warning. Actually, never mind. If you haven't seen Lion King by now, you can't get angry at me for spoiling it. Anyway, look at Simba's reaction to Mufasa's death in the original movie. There is a clear sense of shock, despair and panic on the young cub's face as he watches his father get trampled. We, as an audience, feel these emotions along with the protagonist. Now, look at Simba's reaction to the same scenario from the 2019 remake. The people that made this film took a brilliant original scene and stripped it completely of any personality and emotion. Stripped it of the aspects that gave it its brilliance in the first place. This general lack of emotion and personality can be seen in the 2016 Jungle Book remake, particularly in the I Wanna Be Like You scene. In the original animated 1967 feature, we can see King Louie's personality in his movements as he sings. We watch him mimic how he believes humans act while he proclaims that he wants to be one. Now, take a look at that same scene in the remake. He just sits there. How is this enjoyable? I honestly cannot understand why a person would choose this lifeless remake over the original. Although it's clear why Disney make these films. Disney's and weird people on Twitter's defence for these remakes is that they open the films up to a new audience. I'm sorry, but that is pure waffle. I know this is going to sound like I'm going against what I said in my video about the importance of animation, but just bear with me for a second. Disney's target audience is children, and so, presumably, this new audience they're referring to is the new generation of kids that have been born since these movies were released. Yet, surely, these kids would enjoy the bright colours and fluid movements of the original movies over this. Kids aren't stupid, okay? They can recognise quality. Furthermore, this defence is dismantled by the recent announcement of a live-action Moana movie. The original came out 7 years ago, although this one was probably The Rock trying to reinflate his massive ego after Black Adam failed. Anyway, Disney isn't trying to open these films up to a new audience. They're trying to rake in as much profit as possible, and the worst part is that it works. I want to clarify. I'm not against the principle of remakes. I genuinely think they can do good for the industry, but I don't understand why someone would want to see a remake of an already successful movie that drains all sense of emotion and personality out of the work. Instead of milking these titles, companies should remake films that were unsuccessful at the box office, as it would give them a chance to fix the issues that ruined certain aspects of them. I know they're not animated, but I beg that someone remakes the Star Wars sequels and changes pretty much everything about them. George Lucas's plans are right there, man. Alternatively, I think remakes that pursue a completely different take on the story to fulfill a director's vision can be genuinely good pieces of art. If it is transformative enough, a filmmaker can make an interesting and engaging piece of art that moulds the original movie to their requirements. To conclude, live-action remakes, particularly those made by Disney, are, for the most part, unimaginative cash grabs that severely lack any sense of personality. Whilst I do think remakes can be utilised to improve unsuccessful films, I would much prefer to see original filmmaking overtake the reuse of already established IPs in a fashion similar to cinema in the 90s. Thank you all for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like the video and comment your opinion on all types of remakes. I'm aiming to reach 400 subscribers by the end of the year, so all support is greatly appreciated. Follow me on Letterboxd to see what films I've been watching, the links to everything will be in the description. Bye!